Planning to build in Galveston? You want to know more about their building material requirements? Stick around. Hi everyone, Dan McJunkin here. Thanks for watching. I'm on the phone today with Mr. Pat Bigelow. He is the manager at Galveston Wholesale Building Materials on Galveston Island, and he's with us via phone. So, how you doing today, Pat?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Doing real good. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to let me ask you a few questions. I think this could be very helpful to our viewers and listeners. And what I'm really just trying to do is help people meet you and to understand some of the differences that you know about on the island. And so without any further delay, I'll just jump right on in. Can you tell us a little bit about Galveston Wholesale Building Materials from your perspective?
Galveston Wholesale Building Materials has been around for about 40 years. They're well established with many of the builders, and we're right on 3005 on 10 Mile Road. And so we have easily access to everybody on the west end and on the interior of Galveston. Generally
speaking, as far as the island goes, is that on the west end, the east end? Where is it generally located?
It's on the west end of Galveston Island. It's right when you come off the seawall. We're about 2 miles down the road to the right.
So, Pat, Galveston Wholesale Building Materials will obviously service Galveston, but are there other areas of town that you service as well?
Yes. Most of our business is done here on the island. We do not have a delivery fee. We will go off the island, but it would have to be a full load. We keep ourselves pretty busy here on the west end of the island, being that there's so much building going on.
How is Galveston Wholesale Building Materials different?
Well, one of the main things that we, since we've been around for 40 years, we have a very good understanding of the needs of our customers and the materials that are being used here on the island. So a lot of it is our service. Our guys outside can pull it very quickly, and we can get it over to them very quickly because we are very close to them.
What other materials do you typically sell?
Well, we sell all the hardy, wood grain and smooth, all the LP. We sell the Trex and the AZAC, which is the decking. We sell everything for the framing portion of a house. We sell the doors and the windows, which are TDI rated, and we do order the trusses and the power beams and can get them within a day or two tops, because the lumber is coming in so quickly and going out so quickly that we're able to have a truck come down at least once or twice, sometimes 3 times a week. So whatever the customer needs, we normally can get it quickly so they can continue with their jobs.
In general, how is construction different on the island than you might expect on the mainland?
Being on the mainland, you have the concrete slabs. When you get down here on the island, there are a lot of major differences, that such as the pilings that people are building upon. They're not building their walls on the ground. They're building the walls in the air.
So, related to building on the island, are there specific requirements for some of the building materials that you offer?
Certain requirements are met through the Texas Department of Insurance on the website. Those have been tested already, so that's what the customers go with. Hurricane ties are spec'd out on the plans, and that's where we have all that in our store. We have pilings on the ground ready to go, or if we can go with can get within a week. So all of those things come into play for the customer. Now, not only that, but we do carry the louver rails and the 5/4 deck boards that customers that you see across the island for, privacy on down below.
So that brings up a really good point. And I understand that you are a dealer for AZEK and for Trex materials. Can you tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about that?
What we sell is that's the Trex decking in 1x and 2x, and they all come in 12s, 16s, and 20 footers. We do stock the pebble gray Trex and the Island Mist. We also stock the slate gray and the AZEK TimberTech, but we also have access, being a dealer of both, to whatever other colors the customer might need. So they can go online, and all we need to do is just call our vendor and for pricing and availability. And normally, like I said before, we can tend to get it in 2 to 3 to 4 days tops, as long as it's available with our vendors, which normally it is.
So, Pat, I know that we see architectural styles that are vary. We also see a lot of engineering that will vary. When somebody comes in and asks you, for example, how long their piling should be or what type of clips or straps that they should use, what do you say to them?
What we tell our customers is that the engineer has the final say in what they're going to use on that house. They need to speak with the engineer on, let's just take pilings for an example. On an architectural, you can do a rule of thumb that says that whatever's in the ground is out of the ground, but in the long run, the engineer has that final say in that matter.
As far as grades and species of lumber, what do you find is used most often on the island? Is it number 1, number 2, yellow pine? Is it fir? What do builders usually build with, just in general, as far as grade and species of material?
Most of it is the yellow pine, and what we stock here and to cover ourselves and the government is they came up about 4 or 5 years ago with different treatments, because before it used to be treated lumber, and people were using it on the ground and it was rotting out. So the government came up with a structure that says that the vendors must tag their treated lumber, and is it above ground or ground contact. Now, of course, ground contact is going to cost more money, but not a lot, and it's well worth it. And what we decided to do, instead of doubling up on every single piece of lumber, is just stock the better treatment, which is the ground contact. And it is a number 1, which is a structural grade number 1. And then we carry a number 2 grade yellow pine. Now, a lot of spec'd out are a YP3, which is a yellow pine number 3. And in my opinion, I don't suggest using a yellow pine number 3, but it is acceptable on some sets of plans.
I can imagine how important it is to make sure, if you're a builder, that you're building according to the engineering and building according to code and whatever the city of Galveston might require. Do you find that there are builders that build in the county of Galveston that build differently than they might in the city?
I do. Once they get here to the island, they find out that there's a lot more involved in building here in Galveston. Once they start seeing how many restrictions there are per their doors and windows and their hurricane ties, they find out pretty quick how much deeper in depth they have to do their homework.
So let me ask you about your customers, Pat. Do you find that you have more owner builders or individuals that are building their own homes, or do you only work with professional builders?
We work with everybody. We work with custom home builders, we work with spec home builders, and we work with individuals who are building their own homes that are just asking for advice and working through it themselves. So we're here to help the individual home builders and the remodeler on information we can give them that will help them move their projects along in the right pathway.
So let's say a builder brings you a material list, you quote the list. How long will that quote be good for?
Normally, being that the lumber fluctuates on a weekly basis, we only use about a week. So it kind of would depend on, right now, there's not much fluctuation in that week-to-week basis. Lumber prices are going down, but they're not going down by a lot at this point. But you can always reprice a quote to find out the market value of what it was. If you did a quote 2 months ago, we can just hit reprice with a click of the button, and it'll give you the market price of what it would cost them right then.
Now, when we say lumber for a house, we're talking a pretty big purchase, to say the least. And so, as far as working with people, do you offer terms? Do they have to pay for all of the lumber up front? How does that work?
Now, we have different ways they want, however they want to. The way we like to work it is if they're only doing small projects or smaller homes, if they want to pay with a credit card, like with a credit card on file, that's absolutely fine by sending their contractors in to pick up material. What we do like to do on homes is we like to open up accounts for them. And in 30 days, at the end of the month, they'll get a statement and they can pay by the 10th. After that, there is finance charges upon that. But it's a monthly payment of what they're doing. And then we just have a quick, easy account page to fill out.
All right. Well, let's say someone goes through that process and they've brought you their material list. You've quoted it. You've received payment for it. How long does it take from the time that they actually order the material to the time you can deliver on site? What's the lead time?
The way we tell people is if you give me that order in the morning, most of the time I can get it out by day's end. If it's a pretty massive order, sometimes I won't be able to get it out till the next morning, mid-morning. So we're very, very quick about working with what they need. And we do, being that we know what been around for 40 years, we do know that they need their pilings, and then their stringers, and then their floor joist, and then their subfloor, and then their walls, their studs, their top plate and bottom plate. So we know what they need to get out first to continue to move them in the right direction, and then work with them accordingly on how quick they need the other stuff. Because here on the island, sometimes the rain, like it has been today, these places get pretty mushy.
I can only imagine drainage is very important there on the island.
It is.
So that brings up the question of short orders. Let's say a builder is building and they've gotten to a point, but they've run short on something like studs, and the job is just on hold until we get those studs. How do you react to that builder's phone call that's when he's frantic and he says, I just need some more material? What do you do?
I take that order and I'll walk it outside because I know that customer needs it. And that's being here right on 3005. I can walk it outside, give it to a couple of my guys, and they will pull it and get it on a truck and get it out to them very, very quickly. I do that all day long when the customer needs it.
Now, a lot of new homes being built today are built with engineered wood, or what we'd call engineered wood, meaning floor trusses roof trusses, I-joist systems. How do you deal with a builder who, when their plan says floor trusses, how do you deal with that? Or if it says I-joist, how do you deal with that?
On their plans, when it says that trusses by other, we have a vendor that will do the engineer and do the loads upon those trusses. The vendor does have an engineer that will sign off on once they made the layout for the customer.
Are there any materials in your experience that might have availability issues that people need to order weeks in advance?
The biggest thing is the windows and doors, being that they are TDI approved and they have been tested for hurricanes, that those do take, 2 to 3 weeks to get in. So in advance, the customer probably needs to do, 5 to 6 weeks to make sure that they have those on order, to make sure that they're ready once the siding goes up.
Let's say somebody does order them early. Do you hold on to them there at your location, or do they have to be delivered the minute that you receive them?
We tend to hold on to them here until the customer needs them. And as I was saying, sometimes these are, 3 to 4 to 5 weeks out. Sometimes we get partial orders of the windows in, and it's easier for not only the builder, but their subcontractors and even us to deliver out the whole load of windows or doors once everything has been received in.
And of course, windows and doors generally are not returnable, right?
Correct. Any kind of special order item is non-returnable. That's just because the vendors won't take them back either. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we make sure that those questions are asked through the engineer to just confirm, which my motto is confirm, 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 and to make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody gets all their right materials.
Well, speaking of returns, if somebody has leftover material, they haven't used it, they haven't driven any nails in it, they haven't cut it, but it is in good condition, is material returnable, and what is that process like?
Absolutely. And what we like to do is, you would hope that the builder or contractors would bring the material back themselves, but we do take it back. We have about we would like to bring them back within the first couple of weeks. We don't like anything, back from, 6 weeks or 8 weeks. But we do have our guys go out there and pick up the lumber. And on that being said, we would always hope that the contractor would be there with some help to load that material up to be able to get it back to us for credit to them.
And I can also believe that it is the best plan for a builder to protect his lumber as it's sitting on site, protected from weather, damage, that kind of thing. I'm sure you would advise that.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Because then, we can't take anything back that's not resellable.
Well, Pat, I appreciate your input today. Is there any other information that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
I think just come by and see me. Talk to Pat or Michael or Barb, and we're all here to help.
All right, Pat. Well, can you tell them how they should do that? Give us your address, your phone number, and an email address, contact information that you would like them to have.
All right. So my name is Pat Bigelow, and I'm the general manager of Galveston Wholesale Building Materials here on 4807 Penn Street. And our phone number is area code 409-737-4236. And they can get in touch with me.
So absolutely give Pat a shot. Bring your material list to him and let him give you a quote. I know that he's going to treat you well. Thanks again, Pat.
All right. Thank you, sir.